Hello and welcome to today's webinar on Zoho Cliq 4.0 tour. So, a short introduction about myself. I'm Cheryl and I'm a product marketer at Zoho Cliq. We also have Pradeep with us today. Pradeep is Zoho Cliq's product expert. Pradeep and I will be walking you through all the features in Zoho Cliq 4.0. Let me brief the agenda for today's webinar. First, we'll take a look at what's new in Zoho Cliq 4.0. I'll quickly run through all the features. Moving on, we'll have a live demo session. First, Pradeep will start the live demo session where he'll demonstrate the phone system and a few meeting updates. Then I'll take it over from him. Finally, we'll have a Q&A session as I briefed you. So what's new in Zoho Cliq? We're going to take a deep dive into every feature that was part of this release. And the first thing is now we have an in-house phone system where you can make and take calls from Cliq itself, and a new TV app to take meetings from a bigger screen, along with some meeting updates, some advanced admin control so that you can take better control of your organization, some new components in Zoho Cliq platform so that you can make superior custom apps, and a lot of productivity enhancement features that you can use on a day-to-day basis to save time. And finally, the much needed performance improvements, which we'll be discussing later. And the first thing is the phone system. So I just mentioned that we have introduced an in-house phone system, which is powered by Zoho Voice. But if you are already having an external phone system like RingCentral, Twilio, you can make use of Zoho Telephony and integrate it with Zoho Cliq and manage everything from Cliq itself. So what about improved meetings? As I already told you, we have a new app for Cliq Android TV where you can just download the app and start meetings, join meetings from a bigger screen if you have a conference room and things like that. This helps people connect with their remote teams, wherein people are located at office and they are connecting from a bigger screen, which is just one screen instead of multiple laptops. Also, we have introduced an integration with WorkDrive, which helps you share presentation directly from WorkDrive without giving any access to the screen. Because in this case, you can protect a lot of sensitive information available on your desktop. And the third thing is you can seamlessly transfer calls between the mobile app and the web app without having to cut a call and restart it again. If you are someone who constantly mutes during meetings and starts talking without noticing, then this feature where Cliq notifies you with system alerts if you talk when you're on mute, you have to just enable the speech detection and you will be notified whenever you speak on mute. So what are some of the platform updates that we have introduced? All right, the first thing is the kiosk mode for widgets. Forms and widgets can now be viewed in two different forms, that is the classic forms and the kiosk mode, which is available only on mobile. And also we have a map view that you can use to build custom apps. If you're building cab tracking apps or any app that needs location or a map view, you can now embed that in your custom app. And the third thing is that now you can share forms with the help of a link, and anybody can access that form. Anybody in the organization can access that form with the help of that link. This helps you when you're collecting workplace feedback and things like that. And finally, we have introduced a new component called Catalog Informs. I'll show you how it looks like when we discuss in detail during the live demo. So some of the advanced admin controls that we have introduced are, the first one is an extensive customizable options for you now. That is, you can get a complete hold of your navigation sidebar by choosing what apps to show to your entire organization and not. You can also pick an internal app that you want your entire organization to use and pin it on the navigation sidebar. Also, you can manage all your resources and internal apps thoroughly. Let's say an ex-employee created a bot, but you would like to delete or transfer the ownership to another employee. You can do that now. Before, we did not have the option, but right now we support that. And also, initially, if you were if you would want to export your organization's data from Cliq, there was no option to export in PDF format, and now we support PDF format so that you can use your Cliq data for auditing or other purposes. Moving on, some of the productivity enhancements that we introduced, the most interesting part, I believe, are the first one is the search and star messages. So this is very handy because most of you star messages because they are important. And initially, all the star messages were listed, and you had to scroll through every message to see if that was the one you were looking for. But right now, we support search inside star messages, where you can just search using a keyword and the particular message just pops up. And we also have other filter options that I'll be showing in the live demo. And the second thing is another work drive. I mean, as I mentioned, we have a work drive integration now, wherein you can share files in your chat directly from work drive without switching between tabs and sharing the link. Also, the third thing is if you are a team who works with regional teams a lot, let's say you are from India and you work with Latin teams or European teams who speak in their native languages, then automatic chat translation in Click would come really handy. If you enable that and mention any languages known, those languages will not be translated, and all the languages that are unknown to you will be translated. We'll see more of this in the live demo. And the fourth thing is initially we do not have this option to chat simultaneously when you're attaching a file, but now you can just minimize the preview of the file and then chat and get back to the file later on. Also, if you're somebody who likes to connect with people based on their availability, we have last seen here, wherein you can view the last scene of your teammates or your org members, so that you don't have to disturb them when they're not available. And the last thing is annotating images, which is only specific to iOS and iPad OS. You can add shape, circle, add blur when you send messages so that you deliver whatever you want to tell the other person with better clarity. And the other updates include a whole new Zoho Cliq desktop app wherein we support multiple um, account login right now. And also for one account, you could open the org and the networks in multiple tabs instead of different windows. So that's the difference in the Zoho Cliq desktop app now. And also, our performance improvements are huge. Like when you attach files now, you can see the difference between how it used to be and how it is now, because you've decreased memory usage by almost 800 to 2000%. Sorry, I think it's wrong on the screen. So let me just correct that for you. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into the live demo. I'm going to be handing it over to Pradeep, who will walk you through the phone system and also some improvements in the meetings. So over to you, Pradeep.
Firstly, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking part in this webinar where we explain you about Cliq's 4.0. I will now take you through the virtual demonstration of the Zoho Cliq's phone system, followed by a couple of salient feature enhancements that have been deployed across our Zoho meetings. When I say meetings, it's the meetings that you take within Zoho Cliq. So these modules really hold the capability of leveling up your medium of business communication. And first comes the Cliq telephone system, which can be configured right from your Cliq admin panel. And let me share my screen to we will have you will now be able to see a phone system within your Cliq admin panel, and this comes up with two different offerings right from Zoho. One is with Zoho Voice, and the other one is with Zoho Telephony. So in your company, if you have a process where you run a contact center and you get connected with your external customers, or if you have hotline numbers to which you provide them toll-free services to get connected with your customers, clients, or vendors, or whomever you expect business from, you must be having a phone system or you must be having a VoIP system deployed in your company. So now that can be integrated to Zoho Cliq, or it can be sourced right away through Zoho Voice and deployed in Cliq. So these are the two options that we have. So it'll directly get synced with Zoho Cliq, and you can set it up with one tap. You usually add all the agents within the phone system, and you give them the access to telephony, to have the Cliq telephony running within their Click interface. So you purchase numbers, you set up IVRs, and all the possible options that you are supposed to configure for to have an efficient and a very fine running telephone system in your company. You have all of them displayed right within the Clicks admin panel. You need not switch between different tabs and get over these options set at one place and have them displayed on the other. It's uh, it's not at all needed. Why? Because you have all of them furbished really, really well within the admin panel. Now, this is a quick overview of how the actual Zoho Voice interface looks like. Like while you set it up, you usually purchase or have your numbers. You have them credits. You have the credits purchased for each and every number that you buy, and you must be setting your call configuration. Say if you're trying to like configure an inbound call service, what you do is like you select it, you name it, and you start configuring it. Like how must the incoming call arrive, like who must be taking the call, what kind of ring do I want to like enable it to the call, what is the welcome message, and so on. So this is a kind of a basic etiquette that you follow while you set up a phone system, and that can be mimicked and done within Click itself. So in this interface, you get to see all the agents who are added to this particular telephone system, and you have the extension language and all of their prime details displayed, just like the way you search for different business contexts or different users across different departments in your company effectively through the Clicks global search. The same thing happens here. Like you have all the users which who are active getting displayed at one place. You can search people from different departments and define people with definitive statuses uh, according to their work that they're doing in Click. Now, the very next thing is I come back to the options again, like where you set different departments, where you have contacts, and all the options that I've showed you earlier are mimicked into this particular system. So once you set this up, and once you have the telephone system or the contact center running in Click, this is how you receive calls. So this particular module is very well blended in the interface. It's not going to interlude or collide into the other elements that you have in your user interface. Whenever a person is on a chat or is into like multiple chats in Zoho Click, he gets a call pop up this way. He or she, the moment you attend the call, your etiquette that you plan for your contact center rolls on. So in this case, the call gets auto recorded. This is my particular case. I take notes for the call. I do check out the history of this particular call, and I schedule this call to another department or to another product if it's really needed. So everything is done right from here. The primary hold options and the primary transfer options can be availed very well within this particular interface. Now, outbound calls are too very much possible. And once you complete this call, every agent or every manager or every team lead who is leading this contact center that's set up in your company must have a very efficient and a dashboard with a bird's eye view to fetch out every possible information that's required from this contact center. So we have that integrated within Click itself. You have a phone button that's present on your left menu where you get to see the dashboard of the hourly call load, the weekly call load, the stats that you've been getting every day, and then the statistics of the incoming and outgoing and missed calls that you've been getting from different support queues that have been set up for your company. And obviously, it's going to be rolled out with the agent stats. And at the end, you're going to get a very good global overview of the number of incoming calls that you've been receiving within different regions. So you need not, like, it's a virtual representation, right? So you visually get to see which region from which you've been getting most of the calls. So call logs and viewing the call recordings is been a boon for us in person. Why? Because our Clicks telephone system, the support queue that you reach out to Zoho Click has been handling or has been set up within Click itself. So I check out my call recordings. I do check out how well I spoke to my customers, or like I take notes about how well I must be interacting with them by correcting a couple of points. So the intent to let you know is that if you have a contact center, again, I repeat, this can be not only integrated with Click just for the sake of like attending or disconnecting the calls, you can bring in the entire contact center and have a dedicated dashboard within Click itself. Now, the very next thing is about the enhancements that we bought with Zoho, the meetings that we initiate in Zoho Cliq. So when I initiate a meeting, I usually share my screen to share a couple of presentations. So right now we brought up an option where you can share your own presentation in Zoho Cliq. So the moment you start sharing your presentation, and if you're already using Work Drive, which is a Zoho Work Drive, it brings up a very minimal interface, citing all the folders that you have within your Zoho Work Drive account. You select a presentation and you pick it up and you start presenting it. So let me tell you why we have opted for this. The reason is that while you share your screen in any context, so you usually share your screen, select the window or select the concern tab, and you straight away uh, jump into the presentation. So there is a kind of a process that needs to be followed while sharing your screen. You need to be quite uh, quite cautious on what kind of content is being shared. Why? Because you might have something really private regarding your business context happening on the other end, and you end up sharing that. So blending in or bringing in the presentation right into Click is what we've thought, and we've currently integrated this with Work Drive. So in this session, I've been presenting about how you can power up your communication using Zoho Click. And the very next thing is that the transfer. So this is going to be quite fascinating. Let me tell you, we've been working on how best we can bring up the continuity of meetings in Zoho Click. Say this is a live demonstration where I start a meeting, I start a scheduled meeting. So since we are from the solution engineering team, what we usually do is we often discuss about different issues on how well or how best can we debug them using Zoho Click. So I add all the people to the meeting, I kickstart the meeting. If this is really required, I'm gonna present a slide deck in this meeting demonstrating that how well I have uh, debugged the case or how well I have been working with a customer and so on. Now, the intent of me showing a recording of intent of me showing a brief presentation on this is that while you're already attending a meeting on your web, and when you're in a scenario that you need to shut down your laptop or move on to another place, or if you're done with your workday and so on, you need not end the meeting or leave the meeting and rejoin it again. You can join the meeting right from your mobile application as well. So this is one salient and very fascinating element that's been working for me. Why? Because I might be in a position where I need to talk to different teams within the same company. I need to run around different floors in my company to meet up with different people. Though I have Click, if there is a scenario where I need to have an in-person meeting, and if I'm already on an ongoing meeting in Zoho Click, I usually have the benefit of continuing the same meeting in Zoho Click. So I join the meeting. I've opted to join the meeting in the mobile application, and right there it gets continued. I usually get to see the screen sharing content as well happening within the same meeting. So how cool, right? So this is where I would like to adhere that continuity of meetings has been kept very seamless. We also have another option where you can share or have the mobile microphone sourced as the audio to that particular meeting. So this is way much possible. So I've been telling you about that. The very next thing, and the other thing, if you look at the bottom, it's telling me that I've been speaking in this particular session, and we have a smart microphone detection that detects my voice signals and tells me that you're on mute. So that's one another smart element that we've added within this interface. So coming next is the TV app. We've built a very cool app for the people who are using a smart TV, and this is going to be an added benefit if you have a camera and microphone set it up for that. So even if you have a camera and not a microphone, you need not worry. Why? Because we've got an option where you can source the audio from your mobile itself. So let me tell you that uh, the the meetings app, the Zoho Click app helps you. The Zoho Click app on the smart television helps you join or jump into any meeting that's been uh, present in your account. So usually you have all of your meetings displayed within your remote work dashboard, right? You get to see the meetings that are scheduled for today. You get to see the meetings that are scheduled for the week or the entire month. So you get a very good dashboard on the ongoing meetings. And the moment you try joining the meeting, you will be having a view like this, where you have the active speaker sitting in front, I mean, like, being placed in the middle of the screen, and the rest are aligned left and right. So a very short video description on how this exactly looks like. This is the TV app, and like I've started a meeting, and this is one of my colleague named Robin, who is trying to join the meeting from the TV app. So as you see, he gets to see the upcoming meetings that he has scheduled over the upcoming days. And the moment he joins the meeting, he gets a pop-up that you can also, he gets notified that he can also view the meeting or join the meeting from his mobile application, or also source the audio from the mobile application. So in this presentation, like I was like discussing with Robin on how well that we've been working for Zoho Cliq 4.0. And I was like telling him about what we've come up with. Like, see, like in this case, like he was the person behind the TV app. So this is how we like share screens. So just imagine that in your company, if you have a conference room with a smart TV setup, you need to like you can just walk in hands free, uh, open the Click application, and join a meeting right away. So if audio is your problem, I've already told you that you can source it from your mobile by like joining the meeting from the same mobile. And screen sharing. So sharing context within a particular over a very big interface, and that like the resolution that a smart TV has is like going to really uplift the way context and presentations are shared within the Click meetings that you have. So in this meeting, we were discussing about a beginner's guide to UCAS. Like we're gonna like share the links of all of these booklets that we have been working on, to let every business know on the efficiency that a communication tool can hold in leveling up their internal communication and inducing a lot of productivity. So I would like to end up this live demonstration where I've I've been telling you a couple of times that you can use your mobile as an audio device, right? So I opted to join this like he opted to join this TV meeting and source the audio from his mobile. So what my colleague has done is that he has selected the option called use as audio device, and he is good to go. So right now the audio is captured from the mobile and the video is captured from the smart television, and that's it. So that's how we kept the continuity with two better options, where you can like simply you can simply join the meeting from the mobile, or like source it as an audio. The reason of me repeating this option a couple of times is that it's being really helpful for me, Cheryl. You know the kind of business day that we go through every day. So that's it. So over to you, Cheryl. Like you can continue it.
Thank you, Pradeep. Yeah. So I'll be talking about the admin controls platform updates and the productivity enhancement features and other updates as well. So first, let's go ahead and start off with the advanced admin controls that we have as part of Zoho Cliq 4.0. The first thing that we'll take a look at is how to customize your navigation sidebar with the help of the admin panel. So navigate to admin panel and click on user profile and settings from customization. So here you have this option to customize the navigation sidebar for the entire organization. You have the option to customize the sidebar for your web and desktop, and also for your mobile. Mobile is the bottom navigation bar. So we also have this option right now to pin certain internal apps that you use to your navigation sidebar so that your entire organization can access this. And all you have to do is just move this to the navigation sidebar and save it. So once you save it, this will be added to the sidebar. And you need to lock all the options so that you restrict your users, that is your employees, from editing or making any changes to the sidebar. If you don't lock it, then the employees in the organization will be able to make changes to the sidebar from the settings in their profile. So I'll show you that. We have this right. So if you don't lock it, they'll be able to add and customize it according to their own requirements. So this helps you bring some internal apps that you have built, which your organization is not aware, to the front, so that everybody in the organization can use it and give you feedback regarding the same. So I'll tell you how this is done for mobile as well. So just like web and desktop, you can do the same for mobile, where you can add any particular internal app and you can save it. So when you open the mobile, you can navigate to this particular bottom navigation bar and access Dropbox and Miro from that particular section. Moving ahead, let's talk about the resource management that we have built for your internal apps in Zoho Cliq. You have to navigate to resource management, click on internal apps. Here, you'll be able to access all the internal apps that are available in your particular organization. So, as I already mentioned, this is very helpful in management, especially when people build custom apps and later they leave the organization. Initially, there was no option to delete a particular board or a widget or transfer the ownership so that somebody else can take ownership of that particular widget and make changes. But here, with the help of this resource management, you can assign owner to that particular bot or any internal app. You can disable the internal app if you feel like it's not needed anymore, or completely delete it and remove any trace of it from your admin panel itself. Because when you disable a particular app, it will get listed in the disabled section, and later probably you can activate the app as well. So you just check it, and then if you click on enable, it'll be moved to the active apps. You can also filter bots or the internal apps based on specific owners or inactive owner only, so that only bots with an inactive owner will be displayed, so that you can also transfer the ownership or delete a particular internal app. And also you can filter based on the team, or you can filter based on an organization. So this is particularly filtering based on the access level for an internal app. So let's take a look at exporting your click data in the form of PDF. Just like before, all you have to do is go to data administration, click on export. And initially, when you click on new export, you can choose the options, whatever you want to export. And we did not have PDF in the file formats, but right now we support the option to export click data as a PDF, where you can add passwords so that you protect your file from being accessed by anybody else. So all you have to do is just click everything and add whatever field you want to and click on export data. And it'll be available here. So once that is ready, you can click on download PDF and download the particular file. So that's it about admin controls in Zoho Cliq 4.0, the features that we had introduced. Moving on, we'll discuss about the platform updates, some new components and some new changes that we introduced in Zoho Cliq platform. And the first thing is I want to talk about kiosk mode for widgets, especially. It's available only on mobile. So as I already mentioned, forms in widgets are available in two types. The first thing is classic form, and the second thing is the kiosk mode. So what I'm going to show you right now is the classic form. So this is the internal app that we use in our organization, basically to track cabs or register complaints or look at what food menu we had today for lunch and what we have for dinner, and also some of the hub offices that we have. So this is an internal app that we built. And there's a complaint app wherein we can submit any complaints regarding our workplace. So for that, we have to click on add feedback, and the form loads. So this is the feedback form. All you have to do is just click on the complaint type and it lists the other fields. So this is a dynamic form, and you can add whatever problem you have. So let's say this is a building we are in, and enter the flow and then submit it. So this is how a classic form works. But how does a kiosk mode form in the mobile phone work? Hi, I'll show you that. So this is how it looks. So the same feedback form that you saw right now is available in this format. So when you click on add feedback, it opens this selection type, which is a kiosk mode, wherein once you select the option for that particular thing, it keeps moving, and all the options will be displayed in kiosk. So this is how it works. So in addition to kiosk mode for widgets, we also have another interesting feature called map view, using which you can build custom apps in with the help of Zoho Cliq platform. I'll show you how the map view works. So this is a cab tracking app that we have built as an internal app for an organization, and we have embedded the map view here, so you can take a look at some of the cabs that are available. So when the cabs are on road, you'll be able to spot the cabs. Right now we don't have any cabs available, so you're not able to view anything, but you will be able to when cabs are on the move. So this is a cab tracking app with the embedded map view. And moving on, I'll show you an interesting feature in Zoho Cliq, which is very, very helpful if you like building forms. All right. So this is something I already mentioned, where you can share forms with the help of a link or a QR code, and anybody in your organization can access that particular form with the help of the QR code or the link, and fill in the details. So this is how it works. You can build a form with the form builder in Zoho Cliq. If you want to know how to build a form, we already have some resources available on our YouTube channel where you can learn how to build custom apps and how to use the Click platform. So you can refer that. So once you build the form using Form Builder and create the form, you can access the form from here. I'll show you from where. You can navigate to bots and tools, functions, and this is a form that we have already created. So when I click on that, the permalink for that form will be available. So I just copy it and I paste it, the form will load. So this is how it works. So you can enter the values from the link itself. But how is this useful? Where do we use this exactly? I'll show you a simple video on how we use it. So we have received a mail to share our feedback regarding the workplace policies with the help of this QR code. So once we scan the QR code, what happens is the form opens in Zoho Cliq, and we will be able to pull in enter the values, whatever feedback we think, and submit it. The form will be submitted. So this is how you can use forms in your workplace, just to collect feedback or for anything that you want to give access to, like basically forms for any purpose. So apart from the form view, we have a form view wherein you can share the forms with the help of a permalink. We have introduced a new component in the forms called as catalog component. I'll show you how it looks. So this is how it looks. This is very ideal when you want to build ordering apps or inventory management apps, where the particular item is displayed in the form of a catalog, and you can select, you can place a counter, you can simply add it. So this can be used when you're building forms in Zoho Cliq platform. So apart from the platform updates, as I already mentioned, we also have a lot of productivity enhancement features inside Zoho Cliq, which could be helpful for you if you want to save time and also be productive. So we'll discuss them one by one. And the first thing that we'll be talking about is searching for your messages in your starred messages, especially. So click on starred messages. Initially, you did not have this search option here, wherein you can search for a particular message with the help of the keyword, and you'd probably have to go through years and months of messages to spot what you were looking for. All you had is these filter options, right? So now you can probably enter a keyword, let's say customers, and it'll filter all the messages that are starred as start and also have this keyword customers. So now you have only two options. You don't have to go through a lot of messages to filter them. Apart from this, you can also filter with the help of the conversation type. As like you click on conversation in, you can either select a particular person or you can select a particular channel. Let me show you. There are no start messages in this particular channel. So this is how you can filter start messages. Now you can save a lot of time with the help of this. So the next feature we are going to discuss is how to share your work drive files in chat without having to switch tabs between Zoho Cliq and Zoho Work Drive. So just click on the chat that you want to share with and click on share from work drive. It's taking a while. Yeah. Now you can pick any file that you want to share with, just pick it and you can give them access to this file. You can either give access to this particular person or you can give access to the entire team and just share it. You can enter any message if you want and share it. So you can remove share from here, and if you remove share from here, then Ryan here will not be able to access that file. Or you can copy the link of this particular file and also share it in a chat. In that case, a dialog box appears wherein you can choose the file permission. You can only give access to this particular group, and you can or you can save changes here, or you can modify this by clicking on link settings and change it. You could do whatever you want. All of this can be edited with the help of these settings accessible right from the more menu. So this is how file sharing works. And the next thing that we look at is one of the interesting features that we have introduced in Zoho Cliq 4.0, which will be helpful for a lot of teams working with a lot of regional teams, as I already mentioned. And for this, you have to enable chat translation in your settings. So all you have to just do is go to settings, profiles and settings, click on general languages and translation, enable this. It's already enabled. You can also choose languages that you already know. Let's say here I have picked Thai and Chinese, which I already know. So any messages coming from Thai and Chinese will not be translated to English, which is the language that I've set for my Zoho Cliq account. I can choose between manual translation and automated as well. If you choose manual translation, in that case, your messages won't be translated, but you will have a translate button beneath every message, wherein if you click that, the message will be displayed. But right now, I'm going to go with automated translation to show you how it actually works. All right. So now let's have a quick chat with Ryan Bess. So this is an English account, and Ryan's account is a Spanish account. I'm going to post a message. I've entered this and let's see how it looks. So I had posted in Spanish, but here in Scott's account, you see that it's in English because we have enabled automatic chat translation. But if you want to see the original message that was sent, you can click on this and the original message will be available. So this translation is powered by Zia inside Zoho Cliq. So this is how automatic chat translation works. The same way, if you send a message in English, it'll be translated in it'll be translated in Spanish. All right, let's go into the next feature. Let's share a file with Ryan. All right, I'm sharing the poster with Ryan, but I want to chat with Ryan because I have something important to tell Ryan. Before, I'll not have the option to close this and get back to it later. All I have to do is completely close this and forget about it and again upload it again. But right now I have this option to minimize the preview window so that I can get back to it later. I can tell whatever I want. Let's talk about this later and go back to the preview window again and share it. So this is like super simple right now because it saves you a lot of time because you don't have to re-upload it. All you have to do is just access it from the tab next to the search bar and you can just get going. All right. Now, if you would like to ping somebody, but also make sure that you want to know that when they were last available, you could ask them to enable last seen. Let me show you how this works. So go on to profile and settings and click on privacy and click on last seen. So here, if you enable last seen, then your last seen will be visible to any other person available in your organization. But let's say they have disabled last seen, you will not be able to see when they were last available. But if you disable this, your last seen will not be available to anybody in the organization, and also you will not be able to view anybody else's last seen. So that's how it works. So both of them should have enabled it for it to work. All right, so this is last seen. And finally, let me talk about how to annotate images when you're sending on your iOS and iPad OS apps. So I'm going to show you how it actually works. So I'm sending a file to one of my teammates wherein I'm attaching this. We're talking about lunch. So this is something interesting that I had a week ago, and I would like to try it again because we're discussing about lunch places. So I simply click on the image, and I can now circle whatever exactly I'm talking about. I can add the text, move it around, or I could add shapes. If I'm not satisfied, I can delete it, or I can also blur a particular image by clicking on the blur icon and just going over it and click on done. So now I can enter the message that I want to convey to my teammate and click on the send button. So the image is now annotated and is also delivered to my teammate, who can now take a look at the details and actually find out what exactly I'm referring to in that particular image. So this is how annotating images works in iOS and iPadOS. So moving on, let's talk about some of the productivity enhancement, so some of the performance enhancement features that we have. As I already mentioned, we have worked on our image upload speeds, wherein when we upload an image right now, it quickly uploads. That is the memory that's being consumed while being uploaded is being drastically reduced by 800 to 2000%, which means you don't face any delays when you are sharing your images. And with respect to other updates that we have made changes to our Zoho desktop app, Zoho Cliq desktop app, where I already mentioned that we have introduced multi-account login, so you can use multiple accounts and you can switch between accounts in your Zoho Cliq desktop app. And also, apart from this, you can access a networks and org account belonging to a particular account in several tabs instead of several windows.